Hello friends, welcome to my craft room. Today we are working on a pajama crafter stamps project that I am so excited to bring to you. It's kind of a new design for me, but I thought it was really fun and it works perfectly with this puffer fish stamp set from Pajama Crafter Stamps. So we're going to be making a triple Z card, and let me get started by showing you the product. So like I said, it works perfectly with this Mother Puffer stamp set where you have the puffer fish here and then several sayings to go with it. Now, in my own life, I'm not going to have a purpose to use a card that says Mother Puffer. I just wouldn't send that to anybody. So I'm using the sentiment rough day, take 5 deep breaths, and I'll show you how that's going to work out on our card. It's super cute. I'm also using this fun little die here, and I'm going to talk to Joy. I think this would be a great die to make in nested sizes because I just love how this die cuts. It's so pretty. And this one is called the Scalloped Circle die. And then I'm also using a piece of paper from the Autumn Whispers paper collection. It's this one right here, and that's going to kind of be my water. Now to make this card, you're going to need a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. You're also going to need a large scoreboard. You're going to put the 11-inch side across the top, and you're going to score at 2 3/4. Which I have to put my glasses on to see that. Okay, so at 2 3/4, going to go ahead and score. Next, you're going to score at 5.5. So 5.5. All right, so all of our scoring is done. Now you're going to grab your paper trimmer and put the 8.5 strip at the top, and you're going to cut at 4 1/4. All right, so this piece that is 4 1/4 wide, that's going to be your card base. Okay, so you're going to fold along the score line half, and then this part you're going to fold back, and then you can go ahead and burnish both of those fold marks. Now this piece right here, we're going to go ahead and move that over, and we're going to cut it at 2 1/2. Let me make sure I got that right. Yes, 2 1/2. All right, so now we have 2 pieces. All right, so this piece will set aside. The wider piece, you're going to turn it like this. So you have a score mark, and then this is your bigger section. That bigger section is the part that we're going to do our trimming on. And we're going to put it to 9 1/2 and go ahead and trim that off. And the same thing, we're going to fold it forward, and then we're going to fold it back. And you can burnish along those lines. So this is what you'll have when you're done. Okay, that's our second piece. And now the third piece, the same thing. You want your score mark, and then your bigger section here. And we're going to go ahead and put this at 8 1/2. And trim that. So these 2 little pieces here, you can use to put your sentiment on one of them or both of them. But other than that, we've used the whole sheet of paper. And again, you're going to fold it forward, and then you're going to fold it back, and go ahead and you can burnish those with your bone folder. And you see how that bottom piece is just a tad longer. That's how you want to hold it. This is right side up. All right. So once you have your 3 pieces that are about like this, you're going to cut for each panel. You're going to cut a piece that is a 1/4 inch smaller in both directions. Well, you want a 1/8 inch outline all the way around. So you can go through and do those measurements. They're not hard, but you're basically, you'll see when I start putting mine together. So here you can see I have my 3 sections that I've done, and we're going to work with the biggest one first. So out of our patterned paper, and like I said, this is a piece from the Autumn Whispers, I've cut a piece for each panel. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue those down onto my card base. A lot of the measurements are really straightforward, but some of them get into like 5/8 and 7/8 and stuff like that. So rather than me try to tell you and mess them all up, it's really better if you just kind of do it however is easiest for you. Because with so many pieces, it would be a lot of measurements. This whole video would be taken up with me giving you measurements. All right. You just want to make sure that all of your fold lines fold easily and that you have no paper overlapping that hinders your folds. And that goes for all 3 levels. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to leave it setting like this. This is right side up, just like this, with the bigger part on the bottom and this being your flap. So we're going to set that aside, and we're going to go to the next biggest one. Now for this one, I used a coordinating colored cardstock, and just to give it some texture, I used a embossing folder from my stash. And the same thing, we're going to add it on there, leaving a 1/8 white outline all the way around the edge. Okay, I'm just going to check them and make sure I have them right side up. Yep. It's getting about time to refill my glue. I'm actually having to squeeze it to get it to come out. And I may have forgot to mention, I went around all the edges of all of my papers using some coordinating ink. All right, so this will be our second layer. We're going to set it aside, and now we have our third layer. And remember, on the bottom, you want your wider piece, or your little bit longer piece. Okay. And for this, I went back to our paper from the paper pad, and I numbered mine on the back just to make sure I get them in the right place. I do all my measuring in the beginning, and then I just wrote 1, 2, 3 on the back to make sure that I get each one in the right section. Oops, I might have got that one a little crooked. But it's going to be mostly covered up, so you'll see when we get going here. Okay, so there's my third piece. I think before we go on to working on our puffer fishes, let's go ahead and finish our card base. So if we put this all the way closed with the bigger section on the bottom, we're going to turn it over, and I'm going to apply glue all over the bigger side, the bottom of the bigger side. Okay. Now I'm going to center that right here to the best of my ability. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to center it in this bottom section. Okay. Let that get good and adhered. Now I'm going to open this flap, and I'm going to close this flap. Now this section, I'm going to apply glue to the outer 2/3. I don't want to put glue on the section that'll be over this part, okay? So I only want to put glue, here I'll make a little mark. So right here, I only want glue from here out so that we don't glue it shut, okay? All right, and now we're going to close that down and hold it in place. All right. So there is our first Z. Now we're going to do pretty much the same thing. We're going to take this one, we're going to center it right here and do the same thing again. Okay. Easy peasy, right? I'm going to set that down. Pretty much center it right here. Hold it for a second, get that good and firm. Open it up, close it down. See where I want my glue to be. I'm just putting my finger there, and that's good enough. I don't need to do the pencil mark again. And now I'm going to close it down, hold it in place. And with this method, you could do as many Z-folds as you wanted to do. You could do a whole accordion down if you wanted to. All right, and there we go. We have our triple Z. Isn't that fun? Okay, now let's move on. I stamped my puffer fish 5 times, and I'm going to show you. So here's number 1. He's got quite the red face because he's very angry. There's number 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I made, whoops, I'm getting out of the camera. I made my puffer fish get less angry with each one that I colored. And by the time you get down to here, he's quite calm. So he starts out kind of having a moment. I also die cut this fun fancy circle die in the same color as my coordinating paper, and I stamped the word Rough Day in a shade darker ink than what I had been using previously. And then I wasn't sure how big I wanted this next one to be, but it says take 5 breaths, and I made one a little bigger, one a little smaller, and I'll see which one fits on my card the best. But let me show you what my thought was on how this will go together. So I want this circle to be right here with my Rough Day about right here, and then my puffer fish. So that's going to be the front of my card. And I think I'm going to put a little bit of foam, not super thick foam, but just a little bit of foam on my circle. And I think I want it about right there. That ought to do it. And I'm going to put a little bit of foam on the back of my fish. Now for my fish, I want to make sure I keep him so that his tail is just right at the edge of the fold. Maybe just a little back. I think that ought to be good. Okay, just like that. And now the words Rough Day, I'm going to tuck that. Well, yeah, I think I want it tucked just a little bit, just so he's barely on it, about right there. I still want to see the question mark, but I want it to be kind of married together. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down rather than adding foam. I'm just kind of centering it in our circle. All right. So there's the front of our card. So now I'm going to open it up, and on each of these layers I'm going to put 2 of my fish. And you just want to make sure that your fish do not overlap your fold lines. So his little face is going right up to the fold line, but not over it. And then this one he's actually going to overlap his buddy so that his tail comes right to the fold line but doesn't go over it. Now, if you messed up this part and the tail did go over, the worst thing that's going to happen is the tail is going to get folded up when you fold up the card. But it won't change the meaning of the card. It'll still be very cute. So now this one is going to be right here, and we'll layer the least mad one right here. Now this one, if his tail goes off, it's okay. He can have a little more space. Now for our take 5 deep breaths. I kind of wanted that to be hidden behind this, so when it's closed, you don't necessarily see it. Now, if I'd been planning ahead, I would have moved his tail back so that these kind of cover each other up. We did a pretty good job keeping them even, but that's something you could think about when you first put him on. If you bring him back so that his tail, that would probably be nice, but I'm not going to worry about it because I still think it works great. So I'm going to put a little bit of foam on part of this. Let me see if the big one, you know, I think I like the little one because it almost looks like a bubble. And I think I want that about right there, and this about right here. Yeah. So it says take 5 deep breaths. All right. So here we've got our rough day, take 5 deep breaths. And here's our puffer fish that with each breath he takes, he gets more calm and collected. So I thought that was just a fun way. Now to finish this card off, if I can find my gems here, I do think these fun little bubble gems would be kind of fun to add, you know, as if they're coming up from the fish. Here's one. And I had another little one. Here it is. Put that one right here. Now I forgot to get out my bag of bubbles, but you can see how they are. I think putting some above a few of the fish would be a fun way to kind of finish this card off. And this card, I think, would be a fun reminder to anybody going through a difficult time to take a second, take a few deep breaths and relax, and it'll work out. So this is a fun way to use this puffer fish set. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me today. I will have all of the products listed below the video, and I appreciate you spending some time with me today. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I look forward to crafting with you again very soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.